What have I done? He kept muttering to himself. At that time, he was pacing here and there in the living room, whispering under his breath. He went to Mary, hugged her tightly. Sir, what have you done? She asked with deep concern. There were other girls around Taeyong too. He hugged them one by one, trying to ease the pain inside him. Taekook stood there silently watching. Now he was not only jealous of men, but of women as well. These feelings were completely unfamiliar to him. Sometimes Taeyong's strange little acts felt cute to him, but this time he was so angry that even he didn't know what he might do next. He closed his eyes for a few moments to control himself, then opened them and walked up to Taeyong, grabbing his arm. He turned his face toward him. Taeyong looked at his anger-filled face with fear. When Taekook told all the servants to leave, Taeyong's eyes widened even more. What was that? He said angrily, but Taeyong didn't make a sound, as if he had become mute again. Yet it was enough to make Jungkook even angrier. Why are you not speaking now? He grabbed his arm in anger. Next time, if you do this again, I will cut your neck. Behave yourself. His words were hard, but his behavior was even harder than his words. He suddenly let go of his arm. Taeyong took a step back and lowered his eyes. Go back to your room, he shouted. Taeyong ran quickly to his room, and Jungkook looked at the other with as if he would eat them alive. Next time, if anyone tries to touch him, I will not care for anyone. You all know this well. There was the same old hardness in his warning. The maids hurried back to their places. The shopping bags were left there. Jungkook went to the meeting room, sat on a chair and lifted the glass to his lips. The servant had already placed the things he needed. After one sip, he found the taste of the expensive wine useless. He threw the glass away. The servant, afraid, made another glass and put it before him. Taekook drank it all in one breath. From inside, a voice came. He should know what he is with Jungkook. The heart spoke. Maybe he knows that Jungkook is the only person in the world for him. He could not understand why the brain was not listening to the heart. He thought that now he will always be happy with you, thinking that no pain can touch him, no behavior can hurt him, and no tears will come to his eyes. Once again, the heart opposed the brain. He misbehaved. For the first time, he gave himself a small cheap excuse. He had never thought of anyone like this. Even when he had killed that small child, no mercy came into his chest. And now he was thinking about this boy. He was not a stranger. He belonged to him. Even if he misbehaved, at last the brain stood with the heart. Jungkook's worth is to love Taeyong, not to teach him lesson about his mistakes. No, I do not love. Not love. Shock himself. So lift the bottle, drink wine and let him go. The brain was always cruel, but when he looked toward the heart, he felt something soft. Go to him, he is afraid of you. If he also starts fearing you, like Kai, then what is the use of your presence? He stood up and went outside. When he walked toward the room, he saw all the servants. They were busy in their work. He never liked servants because the house was always noisy. But still he moved ahead. As he was about to open the door, suddenly he stopped. He was not as simple as his heart and mind thought. He turned to look back, and just when he was about to say something, a servant gave him the key. He lifted his shoulders, opened the doors and stepped inside. When he saw the scene, he took a long breath and locked the door from inside. Taeyong was curled under the blanket, covering his head, and his sobbing sound was spread in the room. Taekook removed his watch and kept it aside, then tried to pull the blanket, but Taeyong held it tighter and curled more. When he still stayed like that, Taekook sat on the bed. He pulled the blanket quickly in one jerk and saw Taeyong covering his eyes with his hands while sobbing. Okay, now stop crying. He tried to turn him toward himself seriously, but Taeyong said nothing. Instead, he moved away and sat straight. Taekook didn't like this distance. Okay, tomorrow I will again take you for shopping. Maybe till night. He tried to comfort him. Taekook still said nothing. He only rubbed his cheek again and kept crying. Taekook felt like his heart was trapped in Taeyoung's small feast. He knew it was painful, but he could not understand why seeing Taeyoung cry was hurting him. Misbehave is not good. I was only teaching you to stay proper. Still, Taeyoung gave no reply. Why are you not speaking? He got irritated. Taeyoung was still silent. Taekook took a deep breath. Okay, sorry. Next time, I will not scold you. You can misbehave as much as you want, he said with full patience and control. Sorry. This was the first time Taekook had said sorry to someone, and this person did not even care. Taeyoung looked at him, his face red like a tomato, lips pushed out in a pout. Then Jungkook stood up and went outside. He didn't know what to do. He could have forced Taeyoung. It was not a big matter, but he wanted him to act like before. Outside, he started calling Jake. Grandfather, his worried voice made Jake stand up at once. What happened? He asked. What trouble is this? He got upset. What happened? He was near Jake, looking at his father, worried that maybe someone had attacked him. What happened, Jungkook? Tell me. I will come right now, he said, but Jungkook shook his head. I do not need protection. I scolded Taeyoung, and now he is not talking to me. Hearing this, Jeon laughed. Jake gave a small smile, and Jungkook angrily cut the call. After a few moments, the call came again. Okay, now don't get angry. I saw you like this for the first time, so I laughed. Now, how do I make him happy? Instead of laughing, give me some advice. Take a gift, he said after thinking a little. He had bought half of the city. The whole drawing room is full. If you both had some sense about how to treat girls and boys, then today people would not be remembering Jake. He made both of them feel ashamed. If you are teasing me and laughing is finished, then tell me a solution of how I make him happy. After hearing this, both laughed again and gave Taekook one advice. This is all childish stuff. He got irritated. Be happy, grandson. I am proud of you. Me too, son. Both ended the call happily, while Taekook went outside thinking. After about half an hour, he came back to the room with flowers in his hand. The guard placed the things in the room. Taeyoung looked at all the flowers and things with surprise. So many things, chocolate, biscuits, and many more. The whole bed was full. Seeing this, happiness spread on his face. Taekook had to accept it. He was weak. In front of Jake, Taekook placed the flowers beside him. Taeyoung started swinging with joy, even more happy than when he had gone shopping outside. Is all this mine? I cannot eat all this, he showed attitude. What was a boy's psychology anyway? He get excited on useless thing. If someone kills a man or cuts a hand, then that is something big. This is nothing, he thought and went to the other side of the bed. To make space on the bed, he picked up Taeyoung's things and threw them on the floor and then sat down. You do not have any manners at all, he said angrily. You are angry? He asked and Taeyoung pouted. If this vase becomes a pumpkin, I will pick you up and throw you outside. He had also said sorry, but it did not make any difference. This thing was making him restless, and how could he be happy on such useless things? As if he had found a treasure. His story was looking completely useless. Taekook shook his head and started picking up his things. Now stop crying. He lifted his head and said in such a teasing tone. Do not talk to me, he said, and hearing this, Jungkook's mood changed. He suddenly stood up, lifted him 2 inches from the ground, and threw him back on the bed. Taekook fell on the things, and all the packets broke and got spoiled. Taekook screamed while on Jungkook's face there was now a satisfied smile. If those things had more value than his story, then he would surely make this mess. I said sorry to you. This same thing was bringing him from inside. He bent down and came close to him. Taeyong looked at him. He was a really handsome man. Now, the scene was like this. Taekook was on top of Taeyong. He kept touching him again and again, something his nose, sometimes his eyes, sometimes his cheek, and then his lips. His finger rubbed slowly on Taeyong's lips, stressing them with care, like he wanted to remember their shape forever. Taeyong's hands were not still either. They were playing with the buttons of Jungkook's shirt, opening one and then closing it again, teasing him softly. His finger moved nervously but with desire, feeling the cloth, feeling his chest under it. Every button he touched made his heart beat faster, while Jungkook's eyes never left his face. All my life, everyone gave me the same review that you gave me, so I got hurt. I started to feel like my life had changed. He spoke in a soft voice as Jungkook pressed his lips tight. I do not ever want to go back to that life where everyone was ruling over me. You should not free me if you only had to cut my wings and keep me. He spoke and tears filled his eyes. Jungkook bent down slowly and picked those tears on his lips. The way his feelings were at that time, he had never felt like this before. I promise I will never repeat this mistake again. I am all yours forever, and there is no question to go back to old life as long as Jungkook has breathed. Taeyong cannot go to anyone else except Jungkook. He spoke while looking into his eyes. Kai used to beat me and scold me. He insulted me in front of everyone. Jungkook bent down on his neck and really slowly spread his love on his neck, while Taeyong was complaining to him. I will tell his skin, and I will show this by doing it. He spoke while Taeyong looked at him. And Amelia, she was my mother. Still, she used to beat me. He said while crying and puffing his lips, while Jungkook kissed on his cheek. And Park, he was my brother, but he told me. He suddenly cried out, if you will do like this, then as many breaths are left for them, I will finish all today. He spoke in a cold tone. No, please, don't go anywhere. He spoke while Jungkook looked at him filled with feelings and bent down on his face. Today, in his action, there was so much intensity, like he would take away all breaths. Taeyong put his hand on his neck and he lifted him in his both arms. But maybe Taeyong didn't know how to do what Jungkook wanted. He spoke while Taeyong became shy. And kiss me. Give me response back. Jungkook leaned close to Taeyong's ears, his warm breath brushing against his skin as he whispered something that made Taeyong shiver. Before Taeyong could even answer, Jungkook bent down and lifted him easily into his arm. Taeyong's legs wrapped around Jungkook's waist, while Jungkook's strong hand locked around his slim waist, holding him tightly as if he would never let him go. Taeyong buried his face deeper into Jungkook's neck, his lips brushing against his skin. His breath fast and hot. His heart was beating so loudly. He thought Taekook might hear it. Taekook smiled slightly, feeling his softness and warmth pressed against him, and tightening his grip. Step by step, he carried him forward, his heavy step echo as he moved. Taeyong wanted to try something, and on this effort of his, Jungkook smiled. Pulling him under the shower and turning it on. As the cold water poured over both of them, Taeyong moved even closer, wrapping his arms tightly around Jungkook, holding him as if he would never let go. His breath grew heavy, but Jungkook's heart was still not satisfied. Suddenly, he pushed Taeyong's waist against the wall and bent down, pressing his soft kisses on his neck. Taeyong shivered under his touch. Slowly, Jungkook moved upward from his neck to his jaw and finally to his lips, where he softly pressed his arm. Taekook tried his best to answer the kiss, even though his body trembled. Taekook was becoming more drunk on Taeyong than on wine. His whole shirt was wet, his muscles showing, his hair falling over his forehead, while Taeyong's breath became faster, bearing the light bites of Jungkook's teeth. Taeyong tried to move away, and when Jungkook finally pulled back, he looked at Taeyong's face, where beautiful colors were sprayed. I already already said sorry to you. His needle was still stuck on the same point, but his words were also true, because till today he had never once said sorry, since he never believed his mistake was actually a mistake. You are not understanding the weight of these words. He spoke while Taeyoung held his head. Oof, it was only sorry. So much anger only on this small sorry. He touched his face and spoke. This is a very big thing, and in life I will never say sorry again. Remember this. He buried his face in Taeyoung's neck and gave him a hard biting kiss there. Ah, you are very ill-mannered. It was your mistake, that is why you said sorry. You didn't do a favor on me, he spoke while rubbing his neck. Taeyoung was still in Jungkook's lap. They were standing in such a way that Taeyoung's legs were wrapped around tightly Jungkook's waist while his back was pressed against the wall, and Jungkook's hands were holding him firmly around the waist. It was a favor, keep thinking like that. Holding him in the same way, he carried him out of the washroom and placed him on the bed. Then he went toward the wardrobe and pulled out one shirt for himself and one for Taeyoung. Take this. I have my own clothes. He shook his head proudly and was about to walk out. I want to sleep for some time. If you talk too much, I will do what I do not want to do right now. So take this and go to bed. I will come here after some time. Just go. He said seriously in his ears, gave him his shirt, and looked back at the wardrobe. He pulled out his shirt, glancing at Taeyoung, who was standing with an angry face. Taekook shrugged and started unbuttoning his shirt in front of him. When the red shirt separated from his body, Taeyoung held his breath and kept staring at him. His body, his muscles. Taeyoung's eyes widened, while Taekook looked back at him with a serious expression. Then he threw the shirt onto Taeyoung's face. Taeyoung removed the shirt from his face and Jungkook placed his hands on his belly button. Taeyoung suddenly screamed at this shameless act, but Jungkook had already told him to leave. He was standing there by his own choice, and now he screamed. Taeyoung quickly turned and ran, while Jungkook shook his head. Silly boy. He murmured, changed his clothes and started looking at his mobile. On Jimin's calls, he attended. Do not tell me you are in trouble again. He snapped while Jimin shook his head. Today Jimin had received his favorite car, new model from his granddad, and he was really happy. Bro, granddad gifted me Lamborghini RS model. How should I tell you, bro? It's a hotter than any girl. He was very happy. Jungkook took a deep breath. Where is Taeyoung? Give me his number, he said while Jungkook shook his head. I will give you the number of hell, he said, because Jimin was asking so boldly for his husband's number, who was not seen anywhere at that moment. Jungkook knew Taeyoung must have gone to tell Mary everything about what had happened. The more Jungkook tried to stop him from getting involved with others, the more Taeyoung wanted to be involved. And hello bro, accept it. Taeyoung's like me, not you. And the truth is, he has something special in him that pulls me toward him, he said in a trance-like way, and Jungkook felt this as truth. Jimin, you are talking about my husband. Keep this romance for your girlfriend whom you date daily, he said at the same time. Saw Taeyoung entered the room. Taeyoung was wearing his shirt with shorts. When he entered the room and saw Jungkook, he became shy. Outside there were so many servants, but in that dress he was not shy. Now in front of Jungkook, he was. Jungkook clenched his teeth and looked at him angrily, while Jimin was chanting Taeyoung's name happily. No bro, no. I want to get married. All the girls in Las Vegas are useless. I'm thinking I will get someone like Taeyoung. Ask Taeyoung, does he have a brother? He said while Jungkook tried to get rid of this donkey. Jimin, I will call later. As soon as Jungkook said Jimin's name, Taeyoung's head lifted suddenly. Jimin? He quickly came near Jungkook and snatched the mobile from his head. Jimin, he said while on the other side Jimin also became very happy. Taekook was now standing between them looking like a fool. Yes Jimin, I miss you so much. Ah baby, what a voice you have. Tell your unlucky husband to let me come to Istanbul too. Come, we will do a lot of shopping and eat food. We will watch movies and also sing songs. You know, I really love singing. He was jumping with happiness, not just standing. It felt like after many months he was talking to someone. Meanwhile, Jungkook looked at him for a few seconds and then left the room. Jungkook's voice was echo all over the hall and everyone started coming out. Yes sir, he said softly. Tonight all of you will stay outside the mansion, he said, and they quickly nodded. And the most important thing, no matter how much Taeyoung says, do not listen to him. Now get out, he said in cold tone. Everyone left their work and went outside. No one wanted to lose their life by going against Jungkook. Big in his room, the talking and laughter are still going on. Jungkook came from behind and snatched the mobile. Jimin, both Taeyoung and Jimin laughter stopped at once. I will talk to you later, he said while Jimin laughed. You jealous? He laughed. I need to talk to you something. Things are not fine here. Ethra's sons and brothers are not staying calm. He spoke while Jungkook gave a light smile. I will not go to jail without my own will now. Don't worry, I will handle everyone. But you must stay away from them. I am coming back in 1 or 2 days. But Jungkook, you do not need to come for at least 1 or 2 years. When matters become fine, then you should return. No. I do not know how to hide and still a lot is left. He spoke and Jimin became quiet. Alright then, we will meet in Las Vegas, he said and cut the call. Before the call ended, Taeyoung had already gone and laid on the bed. He was looking at the mobile phone on the side table. It was a new mobile and he looked very excited. This is mine, right? He said while Jungkook stepped toward him, dimmed the lights of the room and pulled him out of the blanket. Taeyoung looked at him in surprise. Stand up, he said with a serious tone. Taeyoung was sure now that Jungkook does not give punishment of heating. With a sulky face, Jungkook stood up while Jungkook lay in the blanket. Always wear full clothes in front of everyone, he said, and Taeyoung raised his head to look at him. You told me to wear this, otherwise why would I wear your clothes? I said wear in front of me, not in front of the whole world. Anyway, no more arguments. If others see, then I will cut those parts of your body. Understand? He said seriously, looking at him while Taeyoung lowered his head more. And I heard you like singing? He raised his eyebrows while asking. Taeyoung lowered himself more. Yes, he answered softly, still with head down. Lift your head, he scolded Taeyoung, then raised his head and looked at him. Sing for me, this is your punishment for being free with Jimin and for acting foolish. You will sing the whole night. Jungkook, he almost whispered sadly. The more you cry today, the more it will continue tomorrow also, he said calmly while Taeyoung stood with a pout. Start. When Taeyoung didn't say anything, Jungkook started to remove the blanket. Oh, okay, I will sing, he murmured, but now no song was coming to his mind. What should he sing? The way Taeyoung was looking at him, Taekook watched the scene with interest and focused on his own heartbeat. He had never felt such heartbeat before. Maybe Taeyoung was not the most beautiful boy in the world, but he was his, and that was enough to make him the most beautiful. He knew Taeyoung was special for him, and this thought was already fixed in Jungkook's mind. While looking at him, Jungkook picked up the glass from the side table and started drinking. I do not remember anyone. Alright, then go and stand there. He pointed toward the table in front of him. But it's made of glass. He was really scared. Jungkook always punished him in such strange ways that it nearly killed his nerves. As thin as you are, my table can surely hold you. Now, just go, otherwise I will come myself, he said seriously, putting the glass down and looking straight at him. You are the most heartless man in the world. I know. Not only you, but many people say the same. He started making another drink. Taeyoung, who had already stepped on the table, turned his head to look at him. Girls? He asked with wide eyes. Jungkook suddenly laughed. For the first time, he laughed in front of him. And to Taeyoung, Jungkook's laugh looked so beautiful, then he got lost for a few moments. No, I never had any relation with girls, he said seriously. You should not have either, he said and sat on the sofa tiredly. At that moment, Jungkook took out a gun from the side table's drawer. Taeyoung intensely stood up on the table in shock. hands up. He looked at him with wild eyes. No, he knew that if he raised his hand, the shirt he was wearing would slide up. He was refusing, but Jungkook loaded the gun and fired a bullet. The shoot went right between Taeyong's leg and hit the sofa behind. Taeyong's head automatically went up, his eyes widened as he looked at Jungkook. I think you understand the language of the gun, not my voice, he said in a low tone, his gaze fixed on Taeyong's body. Taeyong started trembling under that stare, unable to control his fast breathing. Do you know? You are really rude. Yes, I know, everyone said that, but what can I do? That's how I am, he said, while Taeyong's eyes moved restlessly toward him. A faint smile appeared on Jungkook's lips. Only 10 minutes had passed since Taeyong was standing like this, but he was already stretching and forgetting. I'm sleepy now. His hands were still raised and he was exhausted. Taeyong was very sensitive while Jungkook, wild as ever, kept him standing and forcing strange action that, according to Taeyong, were punishments. It's only been 10 minutes. So what? Do you plan to keep me standing like this the whole night? He rolled his eyes. Next time if you act too much in front of Jimin, then remember even this shirt will not be left on you. He put the glass aside and looked at him calmly. And behave like a decent human being. There is no need to appear in front of the servant in this kind of state. Anyways, it's time to sleep, honey. Come here, he said calmly while sliding into the blanket. I can't walk. My feet hurt. You pick me up and take me, he said cutely with a pout. You hardly stood for 10 minutes and now your feet already hurt? Yes, they hurt. What can I do? Just quickly carry me, I'm sleepy. Jacob wanted to scold him but still got up, walked over, stretched his hand out and picked Taeyong up in his arms. He carried him back to the bed. Taeyong quickly slipped under the blanket beside him. Jungkook pulled him close. Taeyong rested his hand on Jungkook's shoulder. The room was dimly lit, and under the blanket, Taeyong's moving lips showed he was still awake. Taeyong kept staring at him slightly. Jungkook neither stopped him nor said anything. He just lay there with eyes closed, while Taeyong enjoyed watching him. Jungkook, his tongue itched to say something. Sleep, Taeyong, he said softly. I do not have school in the morning. Why are you forcing me to sleep? He said in annoyance. Go to sleep, you were just saying you were tired. He gave him a side glance. But I'm hungry. What? You just ate a little while ago. He was shocked. How is he so thin when he eats like this? Where does all this food even go? Go downstairs, tell the servants to cook something for you. He closed his eyes again. No, I want food made by you. Make me noodles, please. He had almost climbed over Jungkook now. Let me sleep. I have to wake up early in the morning, he said coldly. No, I want noodles. He buried his face deeper in Jungkook's neck. Jungkook didn't want to, but finally he sighed, sat up, stretched his hand out toward him, and lifted Taeyong in his arms, carrying him. Taekook left the room, went down the stairs and into the kitchen. He set Taeyong on the counter shelf, then started making noodles himself. After cooking, he put them in a bowl, lifted Taeyong again and carried him to the dining table. He set him on a chair and placed the noodle in front of him. Now eat quietly. I do not want to hear a sound. I am going back to sleep. He turned to leave, but Taeyong quickly grabbed his hand from behind. Please sit with me for a little while. I get scared eating alone. I will eat quickly, then we will go back together. Taekook didn't want to, but still sat down. Taeyong happily started eating noodles. A little later, when Taeyong finished, Jungkook scared him again and brought him back to bed. A little while ago, they had come back to the room and Taeyong had started his question again. After staying quiet for some time when he couldn't sleep, he spoke once more. Taekook, he placed his hand on Jungkook's cheek. Taekook, with his eyes still closed, answered lazily. One of his hands were moving through Taeyong's hair while the other was wrapped around his waist. Do you like me? At this question, Taekook was forced to open his eyes. I never said that. Then the thing we just did in the bathroom, wasn't it that love? "You're my husband, that's normal." He placed his hand on Taeyong's mouth. "Now be quiet," he whispered in his ear and closed his eyes again. "But this is wrong. If you do not love me, then why do you do marry me? I could have married Jimin. He's such a gentleman." He pouted but when Jungkook turned to look at him, Taeyong got a little scared at what had just slipped out of his mouth. "Alright, go to sleep." Taeyong turned to the other side, but Jungkook turned his back, placed his hand firmly on Taeyong's neck, and then bit him hard. "So, Jimin is good, Taeyong?" he asked while biting again. Taeyong screamed, his voice echoed through the room. "Jungkook," he spoke in a broken voice. At that moment, Jungkook suddenly remembered his promise that he would never hurt him. "You are crazy," he said, forcing himself to hold back the violence inside him. "Do not talk to me." He felt like kicking him in anger. "What kind of trouble is this boy? If I stay with him any longer, I will go crazy about itself." That's why after laying him down, Jungkook got up and went to another room for some peace. The next morning, Istanbul weather was refreshing. Light rain, cool breeze, and the mixed fragrance of trees made the whole environment beautiful. Taekook had to leave that day. He was clearing Etheri's death record, all the evidence and video that Etheri's sons and brother had given to the police. He had helped I delete them. Now he was free to go back. He was satisfied with his work. His first stop after arriving would be New York. He had already explained everything to Margaret, who even while sitting there, controlled all the operation in Las Vegas and keep informing him. Jungkook's mind was sharp. He always made sure to have eyes everywhere so the enemy attack would be the weakest possible. After saying goodbye to Margaret, Jungkook signaled Justin to say get ready. When he turned around, Taeyong was nowhere to be seen. He told Mary to bring him and then walked toward the breakfast table. Mary came downstairs with a worried face and spoke nervously. "Sir," Taeyong sir said he would not eat breakfast. Hearing this, Jungkook's anger flared up. "Give me that knife," he ordered Mary. With trembling hands, Mary gave him the knife. "Bring the breakfast to his room. I will cut his tongue and finish this matter today." He groaned. Seeing this, he walked over the room. Another curfew was about to happen, and that too with such a sweet, innocent boy. When Taekook entered the room, he stopped for a moment. Taeyong was sitting on the bed, his shirt slipping from one shoulder, hugging a blanket to his chest. Taekook made a face as he looked at him. Last night, he bit Taeyong's neck very hard. "The mistake was mine," Taekook admitted in his heart. Mary placed the breakfast inside, looked at Taeyong's face with concern and quickly left the room. Taeyong turned his face away. "Why are you not eating breakfast?" He stayed silent. It was clear he was upset. Taekook threw the knife aside and sat in front of him, running a finger gently over his shoulder. Taeyong looked unsure, while Taekook stared deeply at him. "We are going back. If you eat, we can leave on time." He spoke in a softer tone. Still, Taeyong said nothing. Taekook took a deep breath. "Okay, sorry, I won't bite your neck again. And do not fire your gun either." "What if it had hit me?" Taekook lowered his head. If anyone had seen that moment, they would never have believed that this was Jeon Jungkook. "You are very bad." "I think so too. Now eat your breakfast," he said softly. At last, after his repeated apologies, Taeyong agreed and started eating. He finished the whole breakfast alone, while Jungkook just sat there watching him. When Taeyong wiped his mouth, he asked, "Shall we go now?" Taeyong took a deep breath and stood up. "Go and change your clothes." "Alright, I was so busy being angry that I forgot." He left and got up. Just then Jungkook's phone rang. Taeyong stopped mid-sentence and glanced at the screen. It was Jake calling. Jungkook lowered the phone from his ear and asked, "Do you want to say something?" In that moment, he gave all the importance in the world to Jungkook. "Yes, I will get ready quickly. Don't go anywhere, okay?" he said happily. He was overjoyed, while Taekook couldn't understand the reason for his happiness. Taekook got busy with the call, while Taeyong took out a beautiful dress from his shopping bag and went to change. was flying in the air, but the door was wide open. It could turn dangerous at any moment. Taekook had his arm around Taekook's and Taekook was almost clenching on him, staring at that right in front of his eyes. Taekook, I'm sorry, please, let's go inside. I promise I will never hug anyone again, please. It felt like my soul is about to leave my body. He screamed in panic, but Taekook was calm. His expression didn't change. No, the problem is with your ears. You never understand my words. His finger gestured with his hand to take the plane higher. Taekook's heart sank. The mistake was that while leaving, he had hugged everyone goodbye. Seeing that Taekook had already warned him strictly, and now he was set on punishing him. Taekook stood firmly at the plane's door and pushed Taeyong out, hanging him in the air. Taeyong screamed until his throat burned, but Taekook's face stayed expressionless. Then, with a sudden push, he let go. Taeyong fell rapidly, unconscious from fear. Even though a parachute was strapped to his back, he could not think to use it. Taekook jumped after him. For a moment, he closed his eyes, then stepped downward. The roar of the plane faded behind. Mid-air, he caught Taeyong tightly in his arms and pulled out the parachute strapped to his own back. Moments later, Justin threw a steering rope down toward them, which pulled both of them back up toward the airplane. When they entered the plane again, a small innocent boy, like a doll, was laying unconscious in his arm. His heart was weak and his body was cold like ice. Even in his faint state, his hands were trembling. Taekook ordered Justin to close everything. Justin removed the bag from Taekook's back and also unstrapped the thing tied to Taeyong. Taekook lifted Taeyong and placed him inside, covered him with the blanket, and then sat on a chair. For a moment, he felt what I am doing, such cruelty to such a delicate point. But then he gave himself a reason. Punishment was necessary. The whole world understood Taekook's words, except Taeyong. Maybe now he would understand. But Taekook's heart whispered that again the result would be zero. He opened his laptop. There was an email from my group. I think there is some issue, sir. Please be careful. After reading it, lines of worry appeared on his forehead. He looked at the clock. It was 2 p.m. They had left an hour ago, but the email was from 9 a.m. He stood up and went outside where Justin was fully busy with his work. Taekook was about to say something when suddenly a sound hit his ear. For a moment, it felt like electricity ran through his whole body. Then an explosion shocked the plane. Half of it was torn apart. Justin and everything else was destroyed, and the plane started falling down like a bullet. On the other side, sir, there has been an explosion. Justin is dead. There is no sign of Taekook and Taeyong, the guard informed. Is Taeyong alive? Yes, sir. As far as we can see, only Justin was killed in that blast. Linwo nodded. I want Taeyong alive. Find him. Check where he is. He stood up from his place. Yes, sir. Linwo took a puff from his cigarette and smiled. What did you think, Jungkook? That you would escape? A curious smile spread across his lips.